All right, we are playing some golf clash here. We're doing this is the Eagle Peak hole 8 par 4, and this was in the fall major. This particular par 4, I'm putting up several videos of shots here because this was a critical, if this hole ever comes back up in a tournament, this is a critical hole right here to get an eagle on. So when you're looking at this hole, you can land, you can put yourself, let me get my pen here. Won't let me do it. There's my pen. There it is. You can land yourself up here, or you can land yourself over here, and you can take this shot into the green. The problem is that you're up here on this landing pad, and here's the green down here, so it's a very tough downhill shot. And it doesn't lend itself to being made. I mean, it's just a very, very difficult shot. So instead of trying to find this perfect spot up above, what we're trying to do is trying to find a spot that puts you down here. Because the thought process is that it's better to shoot from the sand right here or the sand over here and try and get into the hole. That's an easier shot and a more makeable shot than it is from trying to hit up here at the top. So ideally, if you're going to try and get down there into that bottom area, what we really want to do is we want to get on the fairway or at least really close on the fringe. So there's several different ways that you can do this. You can come at it from this side right here. I've seen this shot made, and I've made this shot using an extra mile and a Titan and doing max overpower and trying to get the ball to fly out and land on this rough area, like right in here, like right in that area, right where the button's at, right there, and then dribble onto the green, but keep it out of this bunker that's in front of the green. The other way to go is there's a gap in these trees over here on this side. And what you can do is you can start your ball off on this side and try and push, scoot through the trees. Now there is another hole that I actually like that shot, but on that hole the green and the fringe is very, very close to the other side of the trees. And here we have a pretty long drop to get down there, and on the on this picture it doesn't look like it's that much, but that is a very, very steep hill. So if you look in the same area right here where the hole is on the trees, if you pull your ball over to this side, you're going to see, and move your ball around, you're going to see that there's a spot where there is a gap in the trees. And we're going to try and hit that spot. And the thought process there is that you've got some trees up here, and you're trying to hit through the tree. A lot of stuff can go wrong. You can hit the branches on this side. You can hit the trunk of the tree. You're going to be going through the branches on this side. So there's a lot of different ways that this tree can stop your forward momentum. So my thought process is that you got some trees here. If we come at them from this angle and we fall through the trees, we're falling through the trees. The trees are, if we get deflected, we're still going to maintain our forward momentum, so we have a much better chance of rolling out there. Because what I'm seeing a lot of people do on this hole is they end up, let me see if I move this just a titch so we can see the green. No. Yeah. Let's go back to that. So we could do it right about... Okay, so this little rough... every time I touch it, that sand trap that's in the front, if you come at this in this angle right here, you come at this shot, it tends to want to dribble into that sand trap. But it looks like when you're taking the shot, like you need to put a lot of left-hand curl. So what we're doing on this is we're putting maximum top spin, and we're putting about 2 right-hand side spin, so that when it hits this hill, instead of getting funneled towards the sand, it takes a hop going in this direction to try and bring it more towards the green. I found if I added more than 2, there was a better shot. I was going to end up in the rough out here. So 2 is about the max that I was doing. Now, if you use, just talking about from a 3 power ball down, if you're using a 3 power ball, a Kingmaker, you'll have to add just a titch of power, and I mean just a little bit, like maybe up against the nubs, not enough to make your needle do anything strange, but just a little bit of overpower. I was doing this, I found that if I used a 4 power ball, a Kingmaker X, that I could just take the shot straight up. I didn't have to knock anything down. I didn't have to overpower. I didn't have to do anything, and it went into the hole. But you can achieve the same shot with a Kingmaker or any of the balls, but you just have to do different overpower. The deal is that the rough area here, you can see where the cuts are down there. If you get past that, you've got to put so much topspin on there to get the ball to go to the hole that that topspin will take effect, and you'll end up out here in the trees, or you'll end up in the sand. So there's a fine line between getting down there and being a long ways off. All right, so let's watch the hole here. Let's see how we played it. This is hole 8 of Eagle Peak, par 4. And we're going to take an extra mile on a Kingmaker X. We're taking the extra mile because we want the club with the most distance. We're trying to get over those trees. And it doesn't have to be a super accurate shot, because we're not doing any overpower, so there's not got any of that, so it should be at the worst a great shot to one side or the other. So our opponents brought a Titan and an extra mile 7, and when you see them move it, let's see if they find that gap. Now on these types of hills where you're trying to hit through that much rough, maximum topspin's the deal, and you don't need to use that much overpower with that ball. And even there's another shot where you can go around the trees like he just did, and bring yourself back out into this area. Our opponent almost lucked into it, but that's not a bad area out there either. If you've got and you can do it with a quarterback. So we're trying to find that gap. See right there where the line's unbroken, there's a gap in the trees. And we're trying to find that gap. There's the gap right there. We're pulling right into the edge of the trees because we got a 3-1 wind, and it's going to throw us over. So we wanted for our wind adjustment to be, right up there in that tree, right on the edge. So if we hit it perfect, it'll throw it back into that open area. See how it falls through the trees and just dribbles onto the fairway. Now this green is tricky because if you're down on this side of the green, if you're on the lower side of the green down here, shooting up to the hole, it's a pretty straight shot. There's no wind effect, you're so close, and there's also no slope effect. But if you're on the other side of the green, you're over here shooting at the hole, the green has a lot of slope to it, and it's going kind of, if you lift your left arm higher and your right arm lower and tilt everything forward, it's got that kind of movement to it. And you'll have to make adjustments for the chip on to allow for the slope. It's not wind, it's slope. So here we're coming from the lower part of the hole, we're coming at the hole, so we're going to go right at it. So from down here we have our normal rapier shot where if you're right at the pin, you could make the grate to the left or the right and still be in the hole. But you don't have that option when you're up above on this hole. You've got to allow for the slope effect. All right. That's how to shoot an eagle on Eagle Peak, hole 8, par 4. Thanks for watching.